Okay, hello everyone. This is J Mac, the flip side. You can catch me on YouTube at Jesse McKinney, the flip side. Okay. Um, I didn't plan on doing this. This is a narrative. This is really not an out and out podcast like I normally would do. But I had to get this off. I mean, I had to say this while it was still on my mind. Um, I had read about some South African refugees that was brought over here. They were brought. They didn't have to come on their own. They was actually brought over here to Iowa. God bless them and everything. I hope nothing don't happen to them because there's a lot of people over here already aching. And the cabinet that we have now, they're saying, oh, we're trying to cut spending. We're trying to cut spending. Now, I'm curious, how much did it cost to bring all these people from South Africa on a plane? All the way, their whole travel time was plane. So I'm sure they had to stop and refuel, so that costs fuel. I'm sure they had to eat, so that costs money. Now that they're here, they have to be housed. That costs money. Because evidently they didn't come with a lot of money. And evidently they was all white. So, don't tell me I'm not seeing what I see. Okay? It was also mentioned that the president never tried to make any money off in his presidency. Matter of fact, because he's in the White House, he lost money. Okay? Now, I don't see how selling guitars, golden sneakers, watches, Bitcoin, and a $5 million gold card to become a United States citizen. Now, I'm waiting for that to happen next. Who's going to be the first one to do that? Losing money. Then you get a $500 million plane, because that's what it's going to cost after taxes. They say 400, but after you get it shipped over here, or you have to fly it over here or something, that's going to cost you another 100 million. Okay? And then you have to have it fixed up to the criteria of the United States of America. You know, for the security of the president. Okay? So, as I'm bundling all this up, this is what I'm saying to you. How dare you sit back and let this administration bring people over here when they're shipping people out of here? And calling the people that they're sending over here, oh, they're refugees. What about all them farms where these people was picking their produce and stuff like that for barely nothing? I mean, getting mistreated and everything like that. I don't think no one compared to the slave, okay? But it's still bad. It still don't make it right. You know, sometimes they were getting wages, sometimes they were getting half of wages, sometimes they were getting no wages at all, and then threatened to be sent back to whatever country or area they came from, right? And everybody knew. This was some big elaborate secret. Everybody knew that these people was, not immigrants, they were migrants. That's actually what they was. They migrate where the work is so they can make money. Because they couldn't make money in their country for whatever reason, or they was being, crucified, and they, being killed because of who they was or what they believed in. Okay? But yet and still, these farmers use these people. Right? And of course, unless you want us to think we're that dumb, that the farmers didn't know that they was at an advantage, because the people they worked for, they knew they was not legal. Why? Because they never documented them. Why? Because they didn't have to. They just had to work the farm. and they pay them cash. The ones they did pay checks, they had a system they filtrated them through. And then they still had the nerve to make them pay taxes on that. Okay? But we're going to ship these people out of here that really run the country as far as our produce, agriculture, stuff like that. That back-breaking work out there in the sun all day. Hardly no breaks. Nowhere to hide because there's no trees. And there isn't even no trees in the field. I can tell you that. Okay? Making little or nothing. But they do it anyway. Now you want to deport them. Then you want to ask a certain class of people, come on out here and pick these blueberries and strawberries for $11 an hour, 9-10 hours a day. Lost your daggone mind. And then you got the nerve to put this on social media now. Oh, the black people turned their back on us. When? We never turned our back on y'all. We've been here from the beginning. When y'all created this United States of America, it was on our back. We didn't turn our back on you. It was on our back. Matter of fact, back in the old days of slavery, every black person could told you that we gave you our backs. And the way we could prove it is all we had to do was take our shirt off. And you could see what our back took for you. We also in this nonsense where we're thinking that Donald Trump, and I'm going to go ahead and say his name because whatever. Donald Trump is lying to you. He actually just told you a lie. Because he said we're looking for efficiency. But he wants this $400 million plane that's going to have to be renovated again to meet the specs of the United States for the president to sit in there and, travel around the world. It's going to have to be modified. That's going to cost millions and millions of dollars. Where's it coming from? Okay? Oh, and by the way, all these South Africans that they brought over here on the taxpayers' money, yeah, by the way, it was your money. I bet you Trump didn't put that money in and say, you know what, I'll pay for it myself. I got enough money. I'll pay for it myself. Or I bet you any of his cabinet said, you know what, we'll go ahead and put the money together and bring them over here ourselves. We won't use taxpayer money. I bet you that didn't happen. I bet you if you do some research and find out how much it costs to bring these 50 to 60 people over here, costs a nice little amount of money. But it's going to be, tomorrow's going to be, yeah, I brought the 50, and guess who they are? He said they were farmers. So when he start knocking you farmers out, where y'all going to go bankrupt or whatever, y'all can't meet your debts or whatever, foreclosure, whatever happens, guess who he going to put in there? His refugees. Oh, they going to pay for coming over here. You better believe that. They going to do something. And he said, the farmers, they are farmers. So when y'all start getting knocked out, they got somebody to replace you. Y'all better wake up. Y'all got these people out here, man, and they screwing you without no grease. I'm going to say that. That's the best way I can put that. Okay? Because anytime you got a woman, I don't have to call her race. They can call a little black child. I don't have to say the word. We all know. And then go run and say, oh, I'm scared for my life. They got my children. And and she just did that. And if it's true what they said, she went and made a go-go page. It wasn't GoFundMe. They said, no, we ain't had nothing to do with that. So it had to be some type of white thing going on. And Well, who knows what she got now? They say she had 700,000. That's almost $1 million because she's scared and she's got to move and she can't do this. What about the people that you are, deporting just because they want to work and trying to make a living the right way? What happens to them? Why you did them like that? But these white people can walk around here and think they privileged and call people names. Or call Asian names. It ain't us. Or call Mexican names and think they're going to keep getting away with it. And then when they get that can of whoop ass pulled out on them, first thing they want to holler, I'm sorry. No, you wasn't. You sorry you got caught for what you did. So we got Shiloh Hendrix. She gets almost $1 million for calling a little kid the N-word. Alright. Then you got Kristi Noem. She's Homeland Security, right? But let me ask you this. Was these people that came from South Africa, were they interviewed? Do we know any background on them? How about if one of them was terrorists? Or 2, or 3? Do we know any of that? How about if one of them a rapist? Or a woman abuser? Do we know that? You don't know nothing about these people they just brought over here. But in the blink of an eye, they just did it. I'm going to tell y'all something. I hope you see what I see. Because I see what's going on. I hope you see what I see. And get this together. But that is crazy. You shipping United States citizens out of here and sending them to these concentration camps that you call prison. But yet and still, you're easing white folks in. Especially with children. White folks. What are you trying to do? You trying to regenerate your race? I ain't see no black people in there. Eh? There's black people in South Africa probably farming too. They probably the best farmers over there. But what would you say? You want to terrorize? Oh, they're stealing their farm. They're burning down their farm. They're taking over. You know what I'm saying? Come on. And it's always a person of color that's doing that. White people don't do nothing. White people don't do nothing. White people didn't kill off the Indians. No, that didn't happen. White people didn't come bring black people over here and beat them silly and made them work for free. That didn't nothing. White people didn't do that. You know, white people ain't violent. Now you got white people running around snatching kids, running around the country in unmarked cars, waiting for people to walk out that door, and all of a sudden you swarm for 20 daggone big old gorilla ass white men. You know, what you gonna do? You gonna resist? You gonna be like, what the? Then they want to snatch you, throw you down and all this stuff, and then take you. You can't see them. You can't identify them. Even if you say, they would say, well, who was the officer? I don't know. They wearing black strips over there, so you can't see them. You don't know who the hell these people are. Now, you tell me that ain't some ratchet ass stuff, I tell you, man, So, this is what I'm saying. You can't tell me what I'm not seeing. You can't blow smoke up my butt. We better wake up, America. Better wake up. Because I'm going to tell you something. I'd rather take my chances dipping my lips in some honey and walking out there in the woods to find me a grizzly bear and giving it a kiss and see what my results be. Instead of messing with this cabinet right now, you gonna mess around and find out for real. I wish y'all well. I think it's gonna get worse before it get better, but I wish y'all well. You better throw that anchor out. Hunker in. I'm J Mac. This is the flip side. Peace.